Okay, thank you, Bob. Now let's turn to Kyle and hear about his startup.
How much time do I have?
More than 5 minutes.
So, I have a couple businesses now. I want to talk mainly about my favorite one, which is our Developed Employment Services. It's an employment agency for adults with developmental disabilities. So I started a shredding company 8 years ago, and it's just me. It's like, I need some employees, right? Because I get busy and whatever. But I needed a group of employees that would take whatever work I had for them and then not take whatever work I didn't have for them and then still be around, right? So I hired, through another agency, a group of individuals with developmental disabilities, because they would take the work that I had happily and then wait until I had more. And so it's totally selfish reasons, right? But in time, I found, man, these people are motivated, they're phenomenal employees as long as the work that you had for them is appropriate work, like really for that individual. Some can do this, but not that, right? And as long as any critiquing was done in the right manner, they were some of the best employees I've ever had. So now I'm very passionate about it. So a few years ago, so I employed these individuals for years, and I got to a point where I saw the potential that they had, but I didn't really feel like the program that I was getting them through was giving me my value as much as they could have as an employer, right? Because the people had more potential than they were reaching in this agency. And the program that they were through is a great company, but I felt like maybe there was a little bit of lack of understanding or empathy from the business perspective, and maybe they were trying to help people that were very high functioning and very low functioning, so I'm not like knocking this other agency, but and maybe I just think too highly of myself. I thought I could do better. So my wife and I started our own, right? And this happened 1.5 years ago, and it's been really cool. And like I said, it's called Developed Employment Services. So what we do is we specialize in assisting high-functioning adults with developmental disabilities. And what we start off by doing is they work for myself, one of our other companies, for family and friends, kind of safe environments to make mistakes. And because really the best way to learn what someone can do is to work right alongside them. So we do that, and then if they do a bad job or if it's too slow, we can eat the cost and chalk it up to learning, right? And then we just continue that. But once they demonstrate where their strengths are, where their weaknesses might be, areas of improvement, they kind of graduate to that next level. And that next level is going out and working for community members, where they'll go out and mow someone's yard, paint. We even like build fences and cleaning crews and things like that. Because what we do is we hire very skilled job coaches in different trades, and then they have individuals that go along with them and perform these tasks. So they'll have people assisting them in doing the work, but the coach is the real skill behind it. So it's really cool because we don't have to make money selling out our services because we receive funding from the state. So we can do it at a really low cost because all we need to do is break even, right? So once they hit that level where they're going out for community members and cleaning or building a fence or doing something like that, that's where they stay until we can find a long-term employment for them. And that's where they might go and be a receptionist in an office, maybe go somewhere that does manufacturing or shipping or something like that, where there's like some bulk labor. And then, so they're in the yard crew area until we find one of these permanent placements for them. And what's been it's really exciting and fun to do. And the hardest thing about it, I think, is that we're finding that a lot of the jobs that we're getting are kind of expendable. So like people get a group to come in at a company and work, and it'll be all great. Like, hey, we're laying everybody off. Oh, dang it. And so then we'll find something else, then we'll get them on there. And, so that's been some of the challenges that we've experienced. But we're finding that we are doing really good at understanding what people's needs are and getting them placed in an environment where they can succeed. And so the coolest thing that happened, I mean, it's all good, but this one unique experience that we had, and the reason I'm sharing this with you all is, yeah, it's selfish because I'm super excited about it and I hope some stuff happens, right? But there are a lot of really good people out there, not just in our program, but in other programs. And this is a workforce that is dedicated and motivated. They don't take a job as something they have to do. right? So that's a real value. So this one specific case that happened was an individual who had applied at this job several times and been denied, didn't get it. And I didn't know about any of this, but I knew that. But we had this employer that wanted some people, right? So we got the appropriate people. We got into the job. We had them trained, and this person was just thriving there. And after he'd been there a month or two, he told me, you know, I applied there like 3 or 4 times, and they turned me away. And I was like, whoa, you know, like this is a person that can do this, but they just weren't given the chance, right? So that's why it's my favorite. I mean, shredding papers is like boring, whatever, right? But this is like changing lives, you know. So what I would say to people, even if it's not like through our program, because programs like ours don't need to necessarily make a profit from temping out employees and things like that, we find that we save people about 25% off their labor costs. And we have incredibly low turnover because they'll take the work that is available very happily. I have people that have been shredding documents, which is exciting for like, it's like when I was a kid, I really wanted my dad to teach me how to use the lawnmower, and it was like one of the worst mistakes. That's how paper shredding is. Everyone's like, oh, we'll learn how to run that machine. Okay. Boring, right? But so that's how paper shredding is. But I've had people that have been shredding documents for like 7 years now, and they still love it. You know, they're still happy to come into work because the tasks are, I don't want to say simple enough, but they're limited enough, right? It's this, or it's this, or it's that. They just kill it. They're thriving. There's one specific, we got this baling machine that I don't know how to use. This is one of the more complex things where you have to like turn it to auto mode, and it like, you know, cycles quickly, then you have to turn it off, open the door, force it out, do these different things. And we have people that just, you know, because it's limited, it's just this one thing, right? They just do it like this and over here, like, oh my goodness, how am I doing it, right? So it doesn't, so they can do all kinds of interesting things because we provide the right training. So anyway, that's what we do. That's the cool company that we have. And do you all have any questions for me?
What's the name of the company?
It's Developed Employment Services.
You said you have 3 businesses.
Yes. So the paper shredding started 8 years ago, and the reason I started that is because my parents had a medical waste disposal company called MedTech. That's where I got the name ShredTech. It was kind of like a family joke. Then we have to change it later because of a little lawsuit thing. But it was cool. So anyway, I was like all groomed and like prepped, like, hey, you're gonna take over our company and help us manage it, and blah blah blah, so we can actually go on a trip. And I'm like, all right, folks, I'm ready. And they're like, oh, we sold it. So I started the paper shredding, right? And then 2 years ago, my dad and I restarted the medical waste disposal company, and it's called Bio Waste Resources. And we did it because, as it turned out, the company that they sold it to was not, say this like in the nicest way I can, they like quadrupled the prices, and they weren't offering very good service. That's a very objective way of stating what happened. So we came back in. Yeah. Experience it. Sorry. I'm sorry too. I wish I could have taken over the company, but anyway, it worked out. So we did the paper shredding, and then we started the employment agency.
I have a comment, real quick, not a question, but as somebody runs another employment agency in town, Kyle's company provides such a niche that's so needed. We get calls so often. I can think of one in particular, relatively recently. Some guy called, you know, hey, I got 12 boxes. I'm at the Red Lions, like a trucking company, and I have hand trucks. I just need a few guys for a few hours who can literally hand truck this stuff 2 blocks. And I'm like, Kyle's office is 2 blocks away. It's not worth it for our agency. I mean, you know, basically, it's too much risk, not enough, no reward. I called Kyle. Oh yeah, totally. And I'm sure they had guys up there in 5 minutes moving 8 boxes with 2 hand trucks. So it does fill a niche, and it's been really a pleasure to work with him. And they clean our offices, so it's really awesome.
And that's what we really appreciate that.
And I want to give a shout out to the paper part, because where I worked before I retired, we had shred bins, and we'd call them, and they'd come more often during certain times of the year, no problem. And great, yeah, like right now, and great drivers, and we'd always give them candy, because there's always a lot of candy at a CPA office this time of year. And then when I retired, I didn't have access to, I couldn't just take my own personal shredding and dump it in the work box. Well, maybe I could have, but I didn't. So now when I'm cleaning, I just take a bag there, and it's for almost almost no money, and they take it and they send me a certificate of shredding, and it is a great service. And you have the kindest staff. They're just so nice and professional.
I agree, thank you.
Yeah, I had a similar experience just this past week. I was doing a lot of garage storage cleaning, and I had tax forms going back to 1970. Yes, 83. And so I ended up with a huge number of boxes of papers that need to be shredded. And for almost a very small fee.
It's not enough, I
Down there,
think.
and the employees were well mannered and very efficient.
And you can raise your prices a little bit.
Yeah. Sometimes people walk in and I'm just like, can I not fill this paperwork out? Just go. And I'm gonna, it's like $2.
I just have three things. I used your service, the development service. The crew came and worked in my garden for me and did things I can't do. So that was great. The person that was supervising
The coach?
the coach was great too. And she kept them moving and the job got done. So I enjoyed having, the work done that I can't do anymore. So I recommend it. The second thing is your Facebook page. It looks like you have a lot of fun at your company. You do the taste offs and all of that, and I think that you should be committed to this because it makes work more fun. And then the last thing I want to ask you about is way back when you first came into Rotary. That was when you were just starting up your business, I think.
Yes,
So how
it's
did
pretty new.
there was a connection between what was going on and how you got into Rotary?
Economic fuel?
Yeah, I was a finalist in economic fuel. And they, one thing they did is it was a Eureka Club would sponsor one of the finalists each year for 1 year in Rotary, and that's really the reason I'm here.
That was Southwest Eureka.
Yeah, and I didn't want to go to that club.
Good decision.
Well, they were nice and all, but at the time I lived in McKinleyville and I worked in Arcata, and it didn't make sense for me to drive all the way out there for an afternoon for, oh my goodness, right? So yeah,
Are you so
I
angry
was
about
really
that?
grateful that they did that because